Hello there, my name is Mrs. Sharon Palmer and I'm currently the subject leader for both business studies and computer science. And now I'm going to talk to you about the GCSE that we offer in business studies currently at Honeywood School. So just bear with me. Okay, so why should you study GCSE business studies? Okay, so apart from learning general theory on how to run a successful business, this actually also gives you skills which are transferable, okay, when you actually go into the world of employment, okay, so you can keep these skills that you're learning for the rest of your life, regardless of what career path you take. So 6 skills that you're going to require if you decide to take GCSE in business studies. The first one being understanding how companies work. Okay, this will be such a valuable skill for any company you join or interact with. Okay, since your knowledge and understanding of how a business operates, okay, and the operations that actually happen within inside a business, as well as working as part of a team within the organisation. Okay, then we look at decision making. So GCSE in business studies can force you to make tough decisions. Often you are given hypothetical cases, okay, so it's an imaginary business, and then you have to then obviously guide and make decisions for that business, okay. Mathematical skills, again, one of the most important skills, proficiency with numbers. Okay, this GCSE will give you the tools you need to work with numbers proficiently as you study investment, funding, how to use and interpret financial data. Again, a really, really useful skill, even if you don't take GCSE business studies any further. Okay, understanding when you actually get a job, your income coming in, obviously your expenditure going out, a simple income and expenditure stroke profit and loss account, okay, is really beneficial for you as a young person. Another key skill is adaptability. Okay, so again, aspirations are climbing the career ladder. Okay, working your way up to the top means that obviously you have to show that you are adaptable. Planning is a crucial skill that will definitely serve you well no matter what career you decide to pursue. And again, looking at problem solving. Okay, so there are many scenarios in the GCSE business studies scheme of work that you have to problem solve, work out and advise the business your thinking of the best way forward, okay, which again are essential skills for a management position that you may see yourself in one day. So what topics are covered in the AQA business studies? Okay, we've got 6 topics at work. Okay, we're starting with number 6, influences on a business. Okay, which is covered in C10. Then we're looking at marketing, business in the real world, human resources, business operations, and lastly, finance. Okay, so they're basically 6 units of work that make up the GCSE for business studies. So when you're in C9, what is your course content going to look like? Okay, so what do you cover in your first year in business studies? Okay, so we have a look at the marketing unit of work, which is probably the most familiar unit that you're used to. You would just study quite a lot of this content in C7 and C8 during the enterprise and solutions learning sessions. Okay, so looking at the consumer needs and wants, methods of market research, again, you know, the primary and secondary research, which you would have covered, the marketing mix, product life cycle, product portfolios, product branding and USPs, and also a whole list of pricing strategies that businesses may use to actually, 1, launch their product into the market, or 2, sustainable pricing to ensure that their product stays in the market. And then we're having a look at business in the real world. So this is the second unit of work that we cover in C9. We have a look at the purpose of a business, all different types of business ownership, whether it's a sole trader through to a limited company. Okay, aims and objectives, the stakeholders who are interested in the business. Okay, locating a business, business plans, methods of expansion. Okay, all cover the areas under business in the real world. And then your last unit of work that you actually cover in C9 is all about human resources. Okay, we have a look at organisational structures, methods of recruitment, selection process, okay, which is really, again, quite a key piece of information that you can use in your life, where actually when you leave Honeywood and you're looking for a job, and it kind of like gives you a really good insight. What is an employer looking for? How do they actually recruit people to a post? Okay, then we're looking at contracts, motivation, okay, and then training a workforce. So those are the 3 units of work that you cover in C9. Okay, then we go into C10, and again, you cover another 3 units of work. We start off with influences on a business. Okay, we have a look at technology and how businesses are using it. Especially now, technology is playing quite an important part, okay, in the world of business. Then we're looking at ethical considerations, sustainability, interest rates, globalization, exchange rates, business law, okay, and uncertainty in business, as well as the E and M commerce, which is obviously all your online business, okay, which is, again, in our current climate with COVID, okay, it's having a big impact on how businesses are being successful and operating within everyday life. Okay, so finance unit of work, we have a look at sources of finance, okay, set up business, how can they actually get financed, break even, cash flow, profit and loss, balance sheets, analysing financial performance, okay, all come under, okay, the finance unit of work. Then the last unit of work that we cover is business operations, methods of production. Okay, so now we're thinking manufacturing, lean production, stock control, choosing a supplier, the efficiency in business, along with customer service and quality control. All those things obviously tie into a successful business. So you can see it's quite a broad spectrum within the GCSE business studies. Okay, you do cover lots of things and lots of different topics that, again, you can easily, even if you don't go further with the business studies, these are so useful when you go out into the world of working and also your personal lives and finance, okay? How do you look after yourself? How do you make sure you keep your balance, okay, in credit? So there's a key assessment point in C10 that I'd like to point out. Okay, you do your mock exams in year 10, either just before or just after Easter. Okay, and 100% of the course has been covered at this point, so you will sit both exam papers, which I'll go through again in a little bit more detail. So, okay, so what do you do in year 11 then? So now that you've actually had the course curriculum delivered to you, well, we obviously then work on perfection. Okay, we have a look at the 6 units of work you've just covered, okay, over the previous 2 years. We will then determine, okay, from our data that we collect over those 2 years, where you need to kind of like pick up and collect some more marks on your weaker areas. Okay, we can call it close the gap, targeted revision. It'll be an individual revision plan for you to make sure that you're actually successful in all 6 units of those work. And then we have a look at the structure of the different types of questions, and you will experience this throughout year 9 and year 10. We don't leave it till year 11, but what we're now looking at is perfection. Okay, how can you pick up those full 9 marks? Okay, where are you dropping them? Okay, and how can we make that better for you? So we do go over and revisit the 6 topic areas, okay, and then we apply that knowledge successfully to make sure that you obviously gain as many marks as you can in preparation for your C11 GCSE. So again, in C11, you do your mock exams, you'll sit both papers. Okay, we then actually make a personalised revision programme for you. Okay, you'll continue to do more exam prep and practice. Okay, reworking those answers to make sure you're picking up the maximum marks possible. Okay, with obviously the ultimate GCSE dates in May and June 2024, which actually seems like a long way away, but you'll be surprised how quickly that comes round. Okay, so how do we know? How do we personalise your actual revision topics? Okay, so here you can see here the way we actually track each learner within our department. Okay, so looking at this, we actually track you from when you start in year 9 to when you're actually over here in year 10. Okay, and then this data is actually used to see how far away you are from your predicted grade. Okay, so you can see if you're on a red, that's definitely going to be, okay, an area like the human resources, okay, you didn't do so well, so we need to have a look at that. What areas do you need to rework? Okay, so this tracking document will be used throughout your 3 years that you're studying GCSE Business Studies. So how do we embed and stretch and challenge? So we've actually introduced enrichment learning sessions, okay? So we've added those to the scheme of work. We think it's really important you actually start kind of like having a look at a real business and finding out what's happened to that business in the time that it's been operational. So for example, the year nines are just currently looking at Dunkin' Donuts, a very, very famous brand of donut in the USA. Okay, from when he started that business up, how did he start the business up? Okay, William was a very successful entrepreneur. He started up with one small shop. Okay, and from that one small shop, he built a global company. I think it's across 39 countries. I can't remember how many stores he's got or how many donuts and coffees he sells, but it's obviously expanded hugely from that one little shop. And I think it's really important that you apply the theory knowledge to a real life scenario, okay, and the decisions that those entrepreneurs have made during the course of that business to obviously be extremely successful. So how do we set our conditions for learning? Okay, so this is the business studies approach. Every class will have a seating plan. Okay, we expect our learners when they walk through the classroom door to have the best expectations of themselves. Okay, we do demand it from you because at the end of the day we want you to walk away with the best grade possible that you can achieve in the 3 years that you study GCSE Business Studies. So there will be a seating plan, okay, which will obviously at the end of the day help you to achieve your target grade. There will be consequences if you don't complete the work, and we will be communicating home, okay, to let you guys know whether you're actually meeting our expectations or not. And then again, what's the point? Session objectives are clearly explained within the context of their short and long-term goals. Okay, your learning journey with us will be successful. So how do we know it's going to be successful? Okay, so on the left-hand side, you'll see these are the data here. In 2016, the grades our learners were achieving in business studies at Honeywood, we were 11% below the national average for a GCSE in business studies across the country, nationally. 2019, 4% above the national average. And you can see here the positive grades increasing and the progress that our learners are making within the department. We want you to leave with a really good grade. Okay, so the expectations and the consequences and everything that we put in with our department ultimately means that you're going to be successful in your GCSE in business studies. So talking about assessment, okay, so what happens during the course? So you already saw there are 6 units of work, okay, so at the end of each unit of work, you will be sitting a 60 to 85 minute written exam, okay. We introduce this quite early on because it's really imperative that you start familiarizing yourself with exam condition. You are timed, it is under pressure, okay, and then the more comfortable you begin to feel under those exam conditions, the more you're actually going to flourish and excel and pick up those super grades that we really want you to at the end of your 3 years. So to help you prepare for that, within the scheme of work, there's what we call a case study. Okay, your case study is an example of a real life situation. Okay, you'll be given 3 learning sessions to complete your case study. Okay, and it helps you really embed the knowledge that you've just learned in that unit of work. Okay, it helps you prepare for your end of unit assessment, and it also helps you start thinking about how am I going to structure these 6 9-mark questions. Okay, how am I going to achieve the most marks I possibly can in this exam? And then finally, as again I've already said, your case studies can either be written projects or they can be presentations or business pitches, which again are really, really great personal skills that you can actually start to develop during your time in business studies. Presentation skills and pictures and talking to people, okay, are really good, fantastic life skills for you to achieve. And then at the end of the course in year 11, how do you get assessed? Okay, well, there are 2 papers. They're both weighted exactly the same. They're both worth 50% of your GCSE. And you can see over here, there are a couple of crossovers. So business in the real world and influence on business appear in both paper 1 and paper 2. And then the other 4 units are split equally amongst paper 1 and paper 2. So the papers are actually made up of 3 main sections. Okay, section A, you've got your multiple choice questions and your short answer questions. Section B, you get your case study, okay, and then a range of question types. And section C, you also get another case study, okay, but you also get those big mark, 15-mark question at the end of the paper. Okay, so that's the structure. They're 1 hour, 45 minutes each, and I've already gone through the 3 sections for you. So I've got some examples of questions to show you here. So you get 10 multiple choice questions. Okay, and here's a couple of examples of 2 multiple questions, 2 multiple choice questions, and they're just checking your knowledge. Okay, so the theory base that is being delivered to you. So which is the following a stage of the recruitment of an employee? Okay, and it goes through the different stages. You'll learn the stages of recruiting. That's part of the selection process, okay, which we saw in the previous unit of work. And you obviously just colour in the square for the correct answer. Then we've got here an example of some different types of style questions. Okay, so on the right-hand side, we've got a 2-mark, a 3-mark, a 6-mark, and a 9-mark. And over here, we've got our case study. Okay, so here is our hypothetical business. It's called Green Grass Mowers. Okay, and it gives you a little bit of information. You then read that really slowly and take it in, and we'll teach you obviously highlighting key facts, key information that you're given. Okay, for you to then be able to answer successfully the questions over on the right-hand side. Okay, quite a skill in being able to answer a 2-mark question to a 9-mark question. Okay, so your 2-mark question, you'll state the answer, okay, and then obviously then give your justification. So one benefit, so you literally say a benefit of a public limited company is, and followed by because that's why it's a benefit to a private limited company. Okay, but we spend a lot of time with you helping you to master obviously these big questions. And then the last example I've got to show you is a 12-mark question. Okay, there's a company called Juma Limited. Okay, and again, the structure of a 12-mark question is it's quite a skill to be able to learn how to answer these. You get 1 at the end of the paper. Okay, and you can see here we're looking at manufacturing efficiency and lean production, okay, on this company. Okay, and again, you're given 2 different approaches to increase efficiency for you to comment on within that question. So additional skills you would develop in business studies. Okay, so again, we're looking at the broader range of skills that you're going to be developing whilst you're studying the GCSE. Entrepreneurship, communication skills are essential, as is teamwork. Okay, communication and teamwork are skills, personable skills that you really want to develop in the next 3 years, okay, to help you prepare, 1, for job interviews, and 2, obviously for your working life, okay, what it's like to work in a team. Independence, well, we do promote independence, okay, within the classroom. Okay, you're given a case study and you go off and you independently work on it, okay. Of course, you can come back and ask for help. Sometimes you're working with a partner, okay, but the independence is really good for your skills. Again, if you want to go off and do A-levels or you want to obviously go to university, your independent learning is a really key attribute that you've got to be good at. Presentation techniques I've already spoken about. ICT skills, again, within the computing skills and ICT are, again, key skills that you need to be able to have whilst you're at Honeywood and beyond in your future career. Data analysis, again, being able to look at some figures. What can you understand from them? What are these figures actually telling you? Prioritization of tasks, again, which is, again, a really good key skill. Budget control, I've already mentioned about your income and your expenditure when you actually start earning your own money. and craftsmanship. Okay, how can you construct these questions really well? So what else do we offer as a department? We do offer some extra study room sessions. Okay, you can see they're on 3 different days of the week. There are drop-in sessions. AO1 are your knowledge, AO2 and AO3 are where you start actually putting that knowledge into the slightly larger mark questions, okay, and how can you apply that successfully and justify your reasons why. Of course, any questions, okay, please do email me if you've got any concerns, okay, about the GCSE, or you want to know a little bit more detail, okay, what's involved within the GCSE, please just drop me an email. And that's it for me. So thank you for listening. I hope to see you in business studies next year, okay, and like I said, any questions at all, please just drop me an email. Thank you for listening.